Hi, how are you?
Good. What's up?
Great.
My mother passed away, left me her home, and I'm renting it out right now. If you sell that, is that tax-free money?
So what happens when you inherit property is you have a step up in basis to fair market value at the date of death.
What does that mean?
And so it means if the house were, say, worth $300,000 at the time of your mom's passing, and the house is now worth $350,000 because maybe it's been a few years and we've had some good appreciation, then you would only owe taxes on that $50,000 appreciation from the date of death. So in general, you have two options when somebody leaves money to you or leaves property to you. You can value that asset at the date of death or 6 months later. And so you would see what the value of the property was. Sometimes if it's complicated property, maybe commercial property, we might recommend to our clients that they get an appraisal at the time of death so that you would have evidence of what the value is. If it's, today with Zillow and with the property appraiser's office, usually you can make a pretty good case with the Treasury Department on what the value was at a certain time frame. But so does that answer your question?
Yeah, if I'm forced to do the imminent domain, where would you recommend putting that money?
So let's explain what to our listeners, what eminent domain is.
So if the property is taken, maybe there's a new road coming through, the extension of the 429 or something, and the government says, well, we need your property for a public works, for some type of public good, and they have to give you reasonable compensation for that property. And so if the property is taken, as they say, due to that purpose, then where you would invest the money really depends on where your other assets are and what the goal is for those funds. For example, is it something that you'd like to use to help fund your retirement? In which case I would suggest, diversified mix of mutual funds that, cover all the categories of large, mid, small, international, etc.
But you want to do that when you've done some planning.
Absolutely, yeah. So you want to first see, what the tax implications are of selling the property, if any. And sometimes when you sell property and you've been renting it, you have something called depreciation recapture, which means that deduction that you got while it was rented, you're going to have to get that clawed back. They recapture the depreciation deduction that you've taken, and that sometimes results in a bigger taxable gain than what people were thinking. So the other thing that you can use to offset that gain is any improvements you've done on the property. So that's important as well.
Stick on the phone. I have another question for you that I think is important to you. If you hang on through the break, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, Jodi, hang on the line. That music means we're up against the latest news, weather, and traffic. But, Jodi, we'll keep you on here. We'll get right back to the conversation.
Well, Jodi had a question. Let me be sure I've got this correct, Jodi. You inherited some property, and I think you were renting it out for a while. Is that right?
Yes, just for the last 5 months.
Okay, and then you talked about eminent domain, and for our listeners that may not know what that is, that means that the government entity comes along and says, we need your property for a new road or a new park or new something, and they want to give you some money for your property, and they will pay you for that property. And what you need to know, if you haven't done this already, Jodi, is that you need to hire an attorney to represent you for that transaction. Because the beauty of that in the state of Florida is that they will pay your attorney's fees. It doesn't cost you, it costs you absolutely nothing, and that attorney can oftentimes negotiate a better deal than you can on your own. So I want you to keep that in mind. That's why I want you to hang on the phone.
Oh, okay. That's good advice.
Did you know that, Jodi?
I did not.
Yeah.
Good.
They'll come along and make you an offer. That sounds great, but maybe worth 2 or 3 times more than what you think it is. So, hire an attorney that's experienced in that regard. And as I said, they will pay the attorney's fees. The state or the county or the city will pay the attorney's fees. That's the law in the state of Florida. So it doesn't cost you anything, and you'll end up with more money in your pocket. So that's the things that we know as certified financial planner practitioners. These are the kinds of things that we bring to the table every day in working with our clients, and we appreciate your call. And if we can help you with the financial planning, Jodi, we do that for a fee. We're right here, right around the corner from you in Altamont Springs, right on Douglas Avenue. And by the way, I mentioned this earlier for our listeners. We are opening up a new location in the Windermere Winter Garden area. So if you'd like to come on by and meet us down there, as opposed to driving up to Altamont Springs, you can go to our website. That's financialgroup.com, or better yet, call our office. You can do that right now at 407 407-869-9800. That's 407-869-9800 or 1-800-EXECUTE. Rodney Owenby's in the office right now. He's a certified financial planner practitioner as well as a CPA. He'll take your calls and answer any questions that you might have, and you want to make an appointment with him, you can do that as well.
All right, just like that. Again, 844-220-0965 is the number to call into the radio show. And, Joe, that number once again?
Is 407. I mean, after 40 years, you don't think you know this? It's 407. We've had the same number for 40 years, 407.
I've been trying to get you to say that all day. It's like, how long is it? Why am I remembering?
For 40 years, the same number, Kyle. 407-869-9800, 407-869-9800, or 1-800-EXECUTE.